Derby Day revenge is on the menu today as Kidderminster Carolians Ladies host Old Hales in the pouring rain at Marple Lane. The result didn't go away in the reverse fixture earlier this season, and after some good results, Kiddy are looking to make it 3 wins on the bounce as we look to solidify our place in NC2 Midlands West. The game brought some big hits, great lines by both teams, and even a hat-trick hero. Can Kiddy pull it out the bag? Here's how we got on. So here we go, a couple of minutes into the game, Rach with the ball just crashing it up just to absorb some of that Old Hales defence. We've been pretty dominant for the first couple of minutes here, having kicked off ourselves and given them possession of the ball, but won it back. Ball comes loose here in the ruck, so Jess is able to get out to Frenchie, out to George, out to Emma Farmer, who's popped up on the inside. He's out to Tina, then Farmer runs a fantastic little loop around the back and he tries to get over the whitewash, but unfortunately the Old Hales defence there just too strong to allow her to get through. So Tori's got the ball now, tries to crash it over, as she likes to do from close range. Unfortunately can't quite get there. So now we're starting to spread the ball out. Comes out to Sal, Sal to Tina. Tina passes it off to Gemma, and Gemma, from close range, tries to go over. Got 2 people on her, gets the ball down, but unfortunately the referee calls it for being held up. So Old Hales now with the goal line drop out, kicks it out, and it goes straight to Aya. So Aya now runs the ball back, passes it off to George. Passes it to Tina. Tina offloads it to Emma Farmer, and Emma Farmer with a great dive over the whitewash to score the first try of the game here. So Kiddy now a little bit later on in the game, about extra 2 minutes later on down the line, get the penalty, kick to the corner, but unfortunately it doesn't quite go into touch. So we take the Old Hales winger down. Old Hales now with possession of the ball, they can be quite dangerous with the ball, as we've seen in previous fixtures, but we're just soaking up some of the defence here, or some of the attack here. So it goes out to the 10, charged down by Squig, and Tori's on the loose ball. 15 collects it, but Tori's on it like a car bonnet. Unfortunately for Old Hales, they are pinged for holding on. So we get the penalty from being 5 metres out. And Tori tries to crash over, tries to get the try for efforts, but it's just short. So unfortunately we get the ball out, comes out to Tina, comes out to Gemma, and Gemma is able to go over the whitewash for her first try of the game. So 12 minutes in, and we're 10-0 up, so we're pretty happy with this, but we want to try and press on the attack even more. You know, head coach Rob's been telling us to really try and press on as much as possible in the early game, just put the Old Hales team and any opposition under pressure. So Old Hales now with a steady good bit of possession on the ball, with the advantage as well for a knock-on in that. And they're really trying to do whatever they can to try and pass the ball into some space. But unfortunately for them, Kidderminster's defence really not doing allowing them any of that. But they start to try to get it out a little bit wider now. There's a pass out to the centre, passes out to the wing, and unfortunately just goes forward within the catching phase. So Frenchie gets the ball off the back of the scrum, goes to clear it, puts the ball into lots and lots of space, and Kitty's there to pick it up. Turns around as she does and runs straight back at Old Hales, because that's what Kit absolutely loves to do. Takes a couple of people to take her down. So again with the ball, Frenchie passes out to Squig, Squig to Tina, Tina out to Gem. Unfortunately there's just a size mismatch for Gem there out on the wing, so she gets pushed into touch. But Old Hales now have the line out. Doesn't quite go straight, so Kitty have the scrum from that. And we're doing pretty well in the scrummaging today, so comes out to Frenchie, out to Tina. Tina takes a hit. Ball goes a bit loose, and it's very much a mess on the floor as the ball gets kicked all the way back towards the Kidderminster try line. Can't really get hold of it. It hits the floor, and Jess is able to put the boot to ball and just try and clear the line somewhat. Both teams here seem to knock the ball on, but the referee didn't see it, so Scarlett's able to try and collect that. But we get the penalty from that for some hands in the ruck and on the floor. So Frenchie kicks the ball into touch, and we're able to have the line out. So Lottie, unchallenged with that, is able to get the ball, pass it off to Jess, to Frenchie, Frenchie out to George, Squig with a great piss-off line in that, and out to Kit, who's got some space on the wing, and she's able to get the ball back inside to Squiggy. Fantastic little offload, and Squiggy's able to dot the ball down over the try line. So Kiddy now 15-0 up with about 20 minutes played here or so, and Old Hales now with possession of the ball, really coming back at us, really doing whatever they can do to try and break us down. They're not going to be happy with the fact that they're 15-0 down, and they're really starting to come back at us with a bit of vengeance and a bit of attack here. The ball comes out to the winger, but again, the ball just doesn't quite go to hand. But they had advantage for high tackle anyway. Kick to the corner, but Lydia just touches the ball, unfortunately, before it goes out into touch. So they end up with the 5-metre scrum. We're able to push them back, but they've still retained possession of it, and ball goes loose. Again, it's on the floor and it's loose, but they're able to retain possession of it. So again, they just tried a few crash ball phases, just to see if they could break our defence down. Lydia with the tackle there, and the ball goes loose, but Lydia gets pinged for being offside in amongst that, and trying to play the ball on the floor as well. So take the penalty really quickly, and Old Hales are able to get over the try line, and their kicker is able to add another 2 points from the tee. So Old Hales are not out of this by any means, but we're able to win the ball in the line out. Ball comes out to Aya, but unfortunately it goes forward in the process. So Old Hales scrum, ball comes out to the fly half. Lovely little play between the fly half and the inside centre here, but a thumping tackle by Tina just to try and absolutely halt the Old Hales attack. But Old Hales still have the ball. Just trying to build up some phases. Lottie's in their face, Squiggy's on them, so not really trying to stifle this attack here by Old Hales, and the ball goes forward in the process. So Kidderminster have the scrum now, pushing Old Hales back, and Frenchie just gives a nice little clearance kick into the middle of the pitch. They really try and widen and open it all up. But George is there, but Old Hales are there even quicker. Old Hales' ruck speed in the game was pretty impressive. Really had hands on. Really tried to put us under pressure and mean that we had no escape here. But Rach comes away with the ball, can't quite offload it, so it goes forward in the tackle, and unfortunately that puts paid to that. So Old Hales with the ball here, but Kidderminster scrum absolutely dominating in this phase of play, and Squeaky comes away with the ball. It's a nice little turnover in the scrum. We don't see those all too often in the ladies game, and it's great to have that absolute domination in that. But Lydia now with the ball, got flows to Lottie. Lottie gets taken down, and again we just try to set up as we do. Comes out to the Twins, and the Twins just take it in, just really set up and have a nice solid base of the ruck. But unfortunately, we get pinged for holding on to the ball there. Some great pressure by Old Hales in that phase of play, in fairness. So line up to Old Hales, and they're able to keep the ball from that. Again, we're just trying to put them down and put them under pressure. So ball again comes out, goes forward, and we still actually have the ball because Scarlett's been able to turn it over. But unfortunately, the would have come back for the original lock on, and the referee decides that is the end of the half. So Old Hales to kick off then, and nobody really wants to touch it, but it comes to Aya, and Aya is able to run it in just to try and set up this first phase of play. Old Hales really coming out of the gate here really quickly, just to again put us under as much pressure as possible, and unfortunately they knock it on. But a little bit later we have a penalty. It doesn't quite reach touch, but it goes backwards, and Old Hales again just running straight back at us, doing whatever they can do to try and put us under a lot of pressure. So again, they're just soaking up some of the phases, just building up some phases as they do. Really trying to put us under pressure, just to they're pretty much camped outside of our 22 here, doing whatever they can do just to try and create some space by sucking a lot of us in amongst the defence. But comes out to the 10. The 10 tries to beat it over, but Rach is there to pick it up and secure it. So she takes it to ground. We're able to set up the ruck. Jen was able to pass out quickly to George. George tries to pass it, but Kit's there to try and pick it up. And Kit, this last, when she's got space, she's got pace, she's got absolute energy to burn. She's never seems to run out. There's too many good things we can say about Kit, and she's able to dot it down over the try line for her first try of the game. So Kidderminster 20-7 up here, and we're just trying to play about with it on our try line a little bit. Kit again with the ball here. Old Hales, still in the hunt in the game. They're only 13 points behind, so anything can happen still. We're only maybe 10 minutes into the half at this point, so doing whatever they can do to try and hunt for more points, really putting us under pressure. We can't seem to find a way out. Emma's not able to kick it properly. The ball goes loose here, and the ball just goes completely loose. It's the fact that Old Hales are able to turn it over, and secure possession of the ball. It just shows how scrappy at this point in the game was, because we weren't able to clear the line. Old Hales were just doing whatever they could do just to try and brute force it through our defensive line. Now here they're not able to try and find a gap in our defence. The defence is still holding resolute, still holding very strong. But again, they're just playing a very patient game, just trying to build up. Could have gone for the overlap on the outside, but decided not to. Again, they're just trying to take it down, just playing a patient game, biding their time. Eventually get sat down in the huge hit there, but are able to drag the Old Hales player down. Ball comes out, trying to go down the blind side. They really have the advantage against us for a high tackle. And again, they're just trying to build it up, just playing with that advantage in the back pocket, doing whatever they can do. Again, very, very patient game, but the referee eventually blows for a high tackle here, which they take very quickly because we're not on the line. And unfortunately, we just can't seem to deal with the pressure. And unfortunately, we concede the second try of the game from Old Hales. Fortunately, they're not able to have the 2 points from the boot. But here we are with the ball again, really applying some pressure. Emma's crashing it up. Kit's now got the ball, tries to offload it to George. George passes it out to Tina, comes out to Emma Farmer, but unfortunately the ball just goes slightly forward in that. So Old Hales have the scrum. So Old Hales with the scrum now, passing out to the 10. 10 puts boot to ball and is able to try and clear the line. It doesn't go too far, but it's okay. So we win the line out. So it comes out to Jem, pass out to Frenchie. Bit of a hospital pass ball, but Katie's there to collect it and gets absolutely clattered by one of the Old Hales defenders. But it's okay because from that we set it up. The ball comes all the way out to Kit. Kit puts on the gas, down the outside, down the other wing. Now she's going to go for a second of the game, but passes it off, a lovely offside in pass. And then Lydia with a fantastic handoff and gets over the line for her first try of the game. Very, very lovely link-up play between those two players. Joint top 2 try scorers in the NC3 League last year. And again, here they come. Kit setting up the ruck, comes out to Rach, passes out to Scarlett. Scarlett's able to break the tackle. This lass, she's fantastic. She's such a strong, powerful runner. Eventually gets swarmed by the Old Hales players because she's just that dangerous and gets taken down in the end. But ball comes out to Maddie. Maddie just tries to truck it up there. She gets taken down, and we're just trying to play a bit of a patient game here. We get the penalty for not rolling away, so we take it quick. Frenchie tries to go directly, but she can't quite reach the line. So it comes out to Kit. And Kit just passes it out to Lydia. Lydia's got a lot of work to do here, but she goes outside on the wing, passes inside, and is able to dot it down for her second of the game. So fantastic little work there by Lydia. But Old Hales now with the line out, and again they coming back strong. They are very dangerous as a side. You can't ever count them out. They're very quick on the rucks. They're very quick to try and put in some lines here. But we're able to turn the ball over. Comes out to Rach, passes it off to Lottie, and Lottie puts on the gas. Tries to fake out the defence. Comes out to Lydia. Lydia, nice little switch back inside. Really trying to confuse defence, but gets taken down eventually. So comes out to Frenchie. Gets charged down by the Old Hales defence, but actually the ball goes forward. So ball now comes out to Frenchie. Frenchie chips and chases over the top. Puts the ball into no man's land, and lots of bodies on that, but we're able to secure it. Comes out to Katie. Katie comes out to Tina. Tina, lovely little dummy off, but unfortunately they can't quite get there, and Katie's there to help secure it. Comes out to Lottie. Lottie just again charging it in there, just trying to soak up some of this defensive pressure from Old Hales here. But then we're starting to pass the ball out slightly wider. It comes all the way out, but unfortunately we get pinged for crossing. So Old Hales put the ball in. Lottie jumps very, very early, so Old Hales get the penalty from that. And again, they just start to build pressure again. Squicky with a huge hit to bring down the attack. But they are just relentless. They're still coming. They're not going to let this sort of scoreline make them in any way deflated. They're only 18 points behind, and anything can happen in this game. The ball is wet. The rain is absolutely pouring it down. Unfortunately, the ball doesn't quite go to hand because of that. But as I said, anything can happen, and it's just unfortunate. But ball now comes out to Old Hales, trying to crash it up, trying to do whatever they can do. gets taken down. Some cracking tackle there by Lydia, and again, just trying to soak up as much defence as possible, trying to make sure that we maybe honeypot a lot of our players. But ball goes loose. Squig is on that. Kicks it through, but they get penalised for pulling back Squiggy. So ball now comes out to Scarlet. Scarlet pings the ball out, but unfortunately it goes a bit loose. But we still have the ball. We set up the rucks. We've got the advantage from this. Playing it patient, comes out to Rach. Rach takes it in, and we're just trying to soak it all up. Jess passes it out, comes out to Frenchie to Katie. Katie gets absolutely taken down, so the ball goes forward, but we're playing the early advantage from that as well for not being 10, I believe, in that. So we have the penalty. So we play it to Sal, to Rach, pass it off to Squig. Squig gets absolutely manhandled to the floor, but we're there to help set up the defence of that. Comes out to Kit, comes out to Tina. Great nice little loop here by Kit, but Lydia goes alone. You've got a fantastic step and just powers through the defensive line. So that is her third of the game. That's her hat trick, and Frenchie adds on the extra 2 points from the boot as well. So fantastic scoreline here for Kiddy, despite the conditions. But Old Hales, they're not wavered. No, they're still not going to be giving up in this, and they come straight back at us. The ball goes a bit loose, and we do get hands on it. So we are able to secure that. Gets taken down, and again we're just trying to set it up. We're hunting for another try here. We want to have 8 if we can do. But ball comes out to Frenchie, to Tina, goes a bit loose towards Kit, but comes to Lydia. Lydia again using her silky footwork, gives it to Kit, and Kit's got space on the wing, tries to pass it back inside, but unfortunately gets held out into touch by Old Hales here. As Old Hales with the line out, secured by Sarah, who's been fantastic since coming back from injury, and comes out to Scarlet. Scarlet making some room here, comes out to Tina. Tina's trying to pass it off, but tries to take it down as well. So we set it up, going, just trying to blitz this sort of defence, just doing whatever we can do to try and to get through it. But unfortunately, we concede the penalty for holding on. So Old Hales put the boot to ball. Emma Farmer touches it, so it goes forward. But unfortunately for Old Hales, that is the last kick of the game, because that is the final whistle being blown by the referee. So a very, very comprehensive display by Kiddy, with the final score 37-12 in our favour. So what a game it was. Glad to have the win over Old Hales finally this season, making it 1 apiece for each of us. And it was done in such a comprehensive style as well. I want to say, Old Hales really, really well played. You guys are so quick to get over the ball in some of the rocks there. It made it difficult to play against at times. I think had the ball gone to hand a little bit more, it would have probably been a very, very different outcome to the game. But we're very happy with the win. We're now leapfrogging into 4th place in the league, so pretty happy with that. And it does feel like things are starting to click with the team a little bit more now. I think a few things now are starting to be more structured, come into place a little bit, so that's very much a positive for us. We've got a couple of weeks break, but our next game is against Stourbridge, which is another local derby at the beginning of February. So if you'd like to know when that video drops, please leave a like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.